All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It is September 10th, 2018. Monday. Monday? Last night, pairs shot up, especially the ones we look for. They actually did shoot up towards the projected area that I wanted it to go to, which was up towards that Mayo, but we got to see what's going to happen here. So EU rose last night. GU had news. I just saw that. AU shot up but back down, so that was the one that I think it actually might be shooting up tonight if it doesn't break this low. Gold is still currently dropping. I think this one could possibly be testing this zone right here. I'll draw it up real quick out there. So we'll see. And then U Chief, that one continued the fuck up. And this is going to continue up. This is weird. This is gonna be interesting. All right, so let's go over EU. Shot up to the Mayo. It's still inside the volatility band, which is not like the best looking thing. So this thing could technically go all the way back down. If it does, it's obviously gonna go back all the way down to where the low was yesterday. But I'm trying to make sure this isn't gonna be anything different. Even the 4 hours are supposed to be dropping. I think this might be getting ready to do something like this. So if you notice, the volatility bands are kind of getting tight, but they're starting to move down. If this does what I think it could, I think this thing could go like low, back up, and then low, and then back up, like slowly making its way down, keeping this trend line actually alive. This goes here. It could keep following all the way down, getting ready. That's if this continues beneath the stationary 50. If it does, this is what's most likely going to happen. Until like there's news where it breaks this low and it could drop down. There's a bunch of things here. Let me actually draw this up. We'll draw some fibs. Don't normally use this, but it's at a good spot. So what we got? So the 30.2 in between the 50. I mean, right now it's just in that consolidating phase. So we're going to see some of this happening, where it's just going to go in and out of supply. So we're going to be watching this thing as it continues to go here. If it comes down, if it goes where it's at right now, delete this. This is going to come back down to the low tonight. All right, so that's the 4 hours. So if this shoots down, we're most likely going to see it shoot all the way back down to that low that it created yesterday. If it shoots up, what we'll see is this could possibly be like a bearish flag on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and then it could shoot up towards the trend line it's been respecting. And if it doesn't break it here, throws a railroad wicks off of it like it's been doing the last couple of weeks, we'll look for that sell to push it back down. Right? Let me see this 1 hour. Still beneath the stationary 50. This thing, the reason why it's doing this too is because the EMAs are so tight. So it's like it's in a semi consolidation. I don't think that this might actually continue up like that. Like if it does, it's gonna have, this might be the stop hunt now. And if it doesn't close beneath this low, this is still valid for a buy because it's technically finished. So we'll draw this out too. It's a consistent zone that's been kept here. Consistent zone that's been constantly met. So we're either going to see it drop down, fall smooth, throw a W here during London session because it's already making the move now, and then to shoot back up towards that trend line, or this is just stop hunting real quick and it's going to go up during London session, reverse during New York, and then take a hit. So that's essentially what we're going to be looking for here. I wish it was a little bit cleaner. It's not, but so like this is going to be something where buy low, sell high situation. It's in the middle right now, so you don't necessarily want to touch it. If it goes low, it's going to rise. If it goes up, it's going to drop. So it's going to be getting ready to do something like that. I don't know if there's any news. There's Euro news in 4 hours, but nothing crazy. Let me delete this. Oops. Now, GBP USD. This thing shot up last night. The thing is, it didn't take out this high. The wick over it, so technically it did take out the high. But it's still flat. it hasn't really broken the candle low, which is pretty much where it's at right now. So this could do one thing. It could do a couple things because GBP doesn't always respect the EMAs as much as the EU and AU do, where it comes to bouncing off. It could consolidate in between here, like in between the both of them, and this thing could still technically shoot down. That's still valid. Another thing I'm seeing is that it's not the craziest divergence in the world. It was overbought, but this RSI line is looking right now. We have to wait still because nothing is guaranteed. This thing could still technically shoot up another level. So that's one thing I could see. And if it does that, then we're going to see this thing shoot up to around this zone. I drew it up on the charts before, but it's the supply and demand zone from back here. Right, so it's the supply and demand zone from back here. Just a little one. It's nothing going to be crazy. It could be easily broken, but in regards to where I believe it could go, if it does continue to rise, it's going to be up towards this resistance line or supply and demand zone, which is at 1.30936. If it doesn't go up to that point and it holds this high, then we'll see this thing drop back down gradually. It'll gradually drop back down. I'd love to see that happen because if this is in the fringe, we're at the top of the fringe right now. If you look at this is the top of the fringe. Here, it held it here, and this is the bottom. So if this thing decides to drop and it holds, we're going to be seeing about between now and when it comes back down to at least this low, 200 pips. So we'll be seeing about 200 pip drop if it holds it. Doesn't, but that's if it does. If it doesn't, now if you're looking at the daily here, long term, this thing might be rising. If you notice, it's coming out of the volatility band, out into the overbought zone. If it shoots up like that, this is 100% going to that 144 or that Mayo on the daily. So we'll probably see that break if it does. We just have to see what happens today. Tonight is going to dictate whether or not this continues down or continues up to that Mayo. But you're sounding really choppy. Can you guys hear me fine? All right. They hear me. Might be, Zach, it might be your thing. I don't know. Let's see. What's this? 4 hour. I think this could just be making a move. I think this could drop. The weekly looks like it could drop. This would be just an ugly pattern here. But, I mean, it technically could still shoot up. It would make sense on the weekly for the first initial pullback to be on the water or between it. 4 hours above. I'm going to have to wait on this one because my gut is saying that this thing could continue up, but for short-term sake, it needs to take a little drop to hit that water and going to continue up. So, or at least come close to it, like in between. It might pass the water a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. AU. So AU shot up, hit the 144, took a drop back down, retested that low from yesterday, forming a nice little W. So if this thing is going to reverse tonight, we'll have to, you guys already know the deal, wait for it to break that water and then look for the pullback. Because once that happens, then you guys will catch that second day rise, which is going to be hella pips. So we're really waiting to see what happens here. 1 hour looks good for a possible reversal. The 4 hour definitely looks good for a possible reversal. That'll do for possibly go shoot back up towards that 4 hour water. The daily, now it's through that big railroad, but engulfing pattern. So that's why I'm saying if this thing shoots up or consolidates, it's literally just another level. So let me see this weekly. Weekly's oversold. It's forming. Monthly still got time to drop. The only thing is that this thing is in the pre-oversold and it's not divergent on the daily, which is telling me that this thing still has potential to keep dropping. but it doesn't mean that short term, like on the 4 hour, the hour, that this won't shoot up to possibly shoot up to that zone towards that Mayo. It doesn't mean anything. It's just long term. It's saying that it could, that it's more than likely going to keep dropping. So in this case, we're going to go to, if it breaks the water, you're looking for the pullback and buy it. Or if it doesn't break the water, holds the water, then you guys are reselling it again back to that low. Those are your two options at play here for, guaranteed pips, if you will. If it doesn't break it, sell it. If it breaks it, wait for the retest, buy it. And then you go from there. Gold. So we had this one, I had it stop hunting and then dropping, but here through a W session, W during the New York session, overall, technically during London and New York session, shot up, hit the blueberry, came back down, consolidating. It's still not my favorite setup right now because it's in the middle, but I'm still looking at this thing long term, and this thing, I still believe this thing could possibly take a little drop. It's not the best looking pair in the world, but this definitely looks like it could drop. Weekly, it's preparing to be a reversal, to shoot back up. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking at, if it doesn't take out this zone, and then we have these. Okay, so I already drew these out. If it breaks here, it's going to drop down past that trend line here, pull back, and then you'll see another continued drop towards the ends of this trend line coming down this way. If it bounces off of it, look for that buy back up towards that Mayo, towards the next trend line, which is right here. So those are the possibilities we're seeing. That I'm seeing right now. I mean, these things, it's still too early to tell, but I mean, right now it looks like it's going to be taking a drop before the London session really starts. So this is going to be a little bit better. Yeah, look at this. On the 15-minute too, it's already outside of the volatility band beneath the stationary 50, which is a key indication for this thing to drop down short term, at least to this trend line here. So that's what we'll see. Continued into the oversold region. How many pips away is that from right now? It's about 24 pips. It's not bad. 24 pips on gold is never bad. U-Chief. Now this one it just looks like it's going to keep rising, honestly. Like, I don't normally play this pair, but all my indications right now are telling me that this thing is bound to be rising. On the daily, it's going to go up to that water. That's where it's going. Let me draw a line to see where that is actually. It's around here by the time it gets there. Oops. Which is about, what, 70 pips away? It's a good push up, I'm just saying. This pair looks better. U-Chief looks really good for at least to keep going up. So continue the buys on U-Chief. Obviously, I like to do it, and that's wait for the pullback down, and then you can rebuy it. This could end up being a trade or a continuation where it doesn't pull back, it just keeps going, and you're going to have to wait for the consolidation on the next session to take the next trade. So if you see it shoot up, guys, and it doesn't pull back, you're waiting for the consolidation. Every single time it will consolidate on the 15-minute for something very small, maybe something like this, like very, very tiny for like an hour or two, and then it continues up. So if you miss this initial rise, if it does rise, you're waiting for the consolidation and continuing to buy. If it pulls back, which is ideal, it's diverging here in the 15-minute, it's probably here going to shoot down towards that water. If it holds the water, it's going to throw a W and go back up. If it breaks the water, it's going down towards that Mayo and blueberry. And then you can look for the next buying potential up there. So we'll see how it all pans out, but just need you to be understanding of what happens if you miss that buy. UCAD. Wanted to drop. I still think it's going to drop. I think it's just messing around because it's UCAD. If it does, it's going to be a little different. The weekly. think this thing, I do remember. Oh, okay. I had it dropping and then re-rising again for the ultimate rise. So this is still technically an uptrend. This is all a new high right here. That's all a new high. Hence, we need it to, what I was looking for yesterday would be a stop hunt low rise. Now I'm going to say the same thing again tonight. You see it stop hunt low. This time it'll line up perfectly with the lows here. That was ugly straight line, but you guys get it. And it will bounce off of that Mayo and then continue up, because this is overall going to continue up. The weekly is showing a clear pattern of uptrend. So anything down to the downside is a pullback. You're just looking for better entries. The reason I say it's going to keep going is because of the RSI being outside the volatility band already, and it's not oversold or overbought yet. So I still think it has room to move. And then another reason would be the weekly. Looks like it's about to be shooting up towards that overbought zone. Hence going to that volatility band, pushing this back up towards this high first. And then next is high. And this high. Right? That's what we're going to be looking for over the next, this is week, so I just pretty much told you what to look for the next few weeks. Super Railroad. On the weekly? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was calling yesterday. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a sauce trade, continuation pair. It all makes sense. That's what I was saying, like short term, like on these lower time frames, you're looking for those pullbacks. I really do believe that. I don't think this thing's actually going to shoot up. Like, stop hunt maybe, but then drop. Me personally, I don't like UCAB, but if I'm going to play it, I need it to be perfect. So, like in my eyes right now, I would need to see this thing drop down to the blueberry for me to even want to think about buying it. So, that's me personally. I don't really trade UCAB, but I think that's exactly what I've been waiting for. UJ had it shooting up to around this area, so we did have it shooting up, delayed it until today. Daily still showing 4 hours come across. It could keep going up actually, but ultimately keep shooting down. It's going into the overbought zone. I think there had to have been just news. Whatever it was, it shot it the fuck up. We're most likely going to see this thing continue just because of the short-term highs it broke. Here's the new high. They got traders trapped down here. They're going to want to either consolidate like they did before during Asian and London session, and then possibly shoot out toward that high. I think that would be a smart idea if I was a market maker. Want to shoot it up a little bit higher to trap more of these traders down here. You know how many people are trapped down here? All these wicks. All these wicks here. They're trapped. They only been up here once. They're going to come back up and look for the last 2 months, and they're going to go capture some more trades. So, because there's still people up here that are holding buys from when they were back here. When they cut, a few people made millions of dollars. It's stupid. Let's see. But yeah, that's what you're going to look for is continuation up towards that trend line. GJ is probably going to be the same thing. Yeah, definitely. Didn't even see this coming. This is definitely going up. All right, so that's what we wanted it to do. It's shooting up, going up towards that high like projected, and it's looking like it's actually going to take out that high and go up towards that 4-hour blueberry. So that's what you guys are looking for is the hit on the 4-hour blueberry. Look for it to continue out of the volatility band here on the daily. So we're looking for this thing to shoot out and up towards that overbought zone, which will put it around the Mayo area. So that's what you're going to be looking for. 1 hour. No divergence, nothing telling me to keep looking for a sell. So short term, 15-minute. Best place would be a pullback down towards the water and then rebuy it. Simple. It's divergent, so it's due to hit the water. Wait for it to hit that water, and then you guys can look for re-entries. Euro AUD. Perfect. This one played out nicely. We had it stop hunting low and then rising. So it's actually funny where I drew that line. It was right on the line. Stop hunting low and then shot the fuck up. Continued. So Hopefully you guys understood that aspect of why I said it was going to continue, because this thing is not stopping. It's going to be slowing down now because it's been making new highs. But I still believe that this monthly will hit that blueberry. Either this month or next month, it's going to hit that blueberry. I think it's going to do it soon. This thing is still, the volatility bands are still tight on the TDI, indicating this type of pattern movement. Notice how it's just gradually going up. It's not like boom, 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 boom. It's like gradual. That's because there's the squeeze on here on the 4 hour. You got the volatility bands, the market baseline, and the RSI, all in the overbought zone. And when they do that, it can stay up there for as long as it wants. I mean, if it does and there's no patterns of it reversing it, you're going to see this thing just continue to rise. So that's why I was saying yesterday, nobody is selling this. You're waiting for it to drop and then rebuy it. I'm going to say the same shit again. Nothing has stood out to me yet in case of a reversal. There's a little bit of divergence here, but it's been divergent since fucking, early August. What we're going to do to keep this thing safe is on the hour chart, you're waiting for it to come down towards that water area or right before it, and then look for re-entries and buys. For the time being, the only reason I would say don't buy it is if it breaks the water. Then you guys know. If it breaks the water, then you look for reversals. If it holds the water, you continue the trend upwards. And you'll see it. GA, same shit. This one was the perfect play out. This one didn't stop hunt though. So it wasn't like, oh man, Ryan was wrong. It's like it just didn't stop hunt as low. It stayed between the water and it shot up there in news. The GBP news. What's the weekly looking like? Still going up. Still got these highs to hit. It's not divergent on the daily. It's not divergent on the 4 hour. EA, the 1 hour still looks good. So same shit on here then, like what you did on EA. Looking for a possible shot down towards that 15-minute water and up. Breaking the 15-minute water down toward the Mayo, which is the 1 hour water, and then a re-entry for a buy. This is still an uptrend. I would not consider selling this. If it makes a reversal tonight, we'll come back and evaluate it, see what it does. I just want to see how it plays out because I'm probably not going to play these pairs tonight. And then from there, if it does drop, then we'll see how the markets look, but it could just be a continuation. So we'll see how that goes. And then G-Chief. This thing shot up. Holy fuck. What the hell happened to this pair? How many pips did this rise? 200 pips? 198 pips. Did anybody catch that? I mean, I was saying, damn, it's going to be in the middle. This thing was due for a reversal. Holy hell. That thing just went like full ADR in one day. Well, this kind of changes things up, but I think this thing's about to be making its way back all the way up there. Look at that. Right in the pre-oversold, it's making a hard shark fin. The daily, it's been divergent for a minute. The first place this thing is going, guys, is the daily water. Like, you're continuing to buy this pair. Short-term stop hunt low. What you're doing, you are buying G-Chief until this shit hits the daily water. That daily water, you can't see it on the 4 hour, so let me draw it up here. It's about that 1.27962, which is still another 91 pips. So like y'all are, I mean, it's hitting the blueberry right now. So what I could say is that it might consolidate, but this thing is not going to reverse all the way fucking down. Like this thing is going to consolidate here for a minute, and then it's going to continue up. So wait on this pair. Don't expect it to just keep, because this is not good habits of trading. I don't want you guys getting into it and just thinking like, oh, it's just going to continue up there. No, because then you're going to be holding this trade, and it might pull back a little bit farther than anticipated, and then you're going to be like, well, what the fuck? You're going to get better entry. Like, so wait for this thing to start consolidating, because it will. It just pushed up pretty hard. And wait for re-entries on buys after it starts getting towards those lows. Then you can look for the buys. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions? Just not a lot of crazy setup. Careful of like EU and AU right now. I think these pairs could be stop hunting to continue up towards tonight. That could happen, and then during New York session drop, we'll have to see. But just keep your eyes open. See how everything pans out. We're gonna have to see what happens during like towards the right beginning of a London session, because they're gonna start setting it up. U Chief looks good for the continuation. Look for the stop hunt low. UCAI looks good for the drop. UJ looks good for the continuation up. GJ looks good for the continuation up. Pull back to the low, then buy. Euro AUD, same thing. Wait for it to drop down towards the 1 hour water, and then buy it. And then GA, same shit too. Wait for it to pull back or at least consolidate, and then we're gonna keep up with the uptrends. And then G Chief, you're just waiting. So that's it. If anybody's got anything, I'm gonna wait for this to get posted up. As soon as it's done, I'll put it in the groups, and we'll get back to this in tomorrow. We're gonna see how everything's going. So tonight, remember, it's Tuesday, and then tomorrow is Wednesday, Thursday. So midweek reversals. We'll be setting up for those tomorrow. I will talk to you guys then. Everyone have a good night. Catch some pips. Peace out.